Hey guys, welcome back to the Side Piece Anime Podcast, your place away from your main squeeze. Um, Today we're doing some shit. It's the episode. It's a One Piece episode. We got Angela here.
Hello.
She's got a brand spanking new laptop and microphone, which is amazing. We got Jason.
I don't have a brand new spanking laptop and microphone.
Oh man. And
Sad
and
days.
if you're on YouTube, you'll notice that we have Tanner here, who is deafened at this point because he can read the Shokugeki no Sanji chapters, which is what we're doing in the second part, but he is not caught up to the anime, so he has to deafen himself for this particular moment. Oh.
Today's episode would be a huge spoiler for him too.
Oh yes, it would be a huge spoiler.
Like,
Um,
massive.
absolutely massive. Let's see. All right. So let's do this episode thing, shall we? All right. Anyone wanna
Let's do it.
anyone wanna take control of this? Anyone wanna start? Where if you know where the episode starts.
Uh, well, the thing about this episode is that really only two things happened. So I feel like this is gonna be a really rough one to continue with, like the what's the word, like the layout we ran last time. Because, like I said, only two things really happened when you break it down.
Yeah, but we're kind of explaining the entire episode, like a summary of events.
All right. Well, we know that King Neptune made it back to the Fishman Kingdom, alive and well. He had Garp with him there, and it was actually revealed to us by Garp. Garp was the first one to mention it, actually, that something kind of crazy went down at the Reverie. And then we kind of pan around to, you know, Obegu Nuzu, the what are they called? Journals, magazines? No, newspapers, dropping around everywhere. And we see a bunch of villagers having widely different reactions to the news. We have some people who are crying, and then some people who are seemingly having a really good day.
Well, before we get to that point, it's important to note that in Fishman Island, Garp was like, he has to get back because something happened involving Alabasta.
Mm-hmm.
And when Morgan's was shown, he was asked what the headline should be, and he's like, "Someone died. Someone died." That's the headline. It always catches people. That's what we should be doing. And let's see. And the government sent a cipher pull agent to silence Morgan's, which Morgan's heavily bitch slapped. he just bitch slapped
Like
him.
Cypher pulled out a gun and everything too.
Started blasting.
Yo, we got the gat.
He got the gat. Gat.
Oh my god. Oh man. He got the gat. Watch out. So, after all that, at the end of that, Morgans gets a call saying that Wapol wants to leak information to him because that's what Wapol does. And then we get to the newspapers dropping everywhere. The people are crying. And then we pan over to the revolutionaries. Angela, what happens after that?
Basically the news had said that Sabo had died.
Whoa, we don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know
What?
It's heavily implied. It is so heavily implied.
that. It's heavily implied, but it was never said.
It's that's how I took it, okay? They said that someone had died, and then they're all talking about Sabo after reading that. So I took it as that's what the news was.
Maybe Vivi died. You never know. It's about Alabasta too.
No, it's not. What was her name? Makino and the lady from the mountain who took care of them all when they were kids. Makino was crying. She was like, Sabo! The mountain lady was like, I had just figured out he was alive. Tell me it's a lie.
That mountain lady would have nothing to do with anything in Alabasta.
No, listen, okay. Garp said that there was something big happening involving the Alabasta Kingdom. Maybe, because it's never implicitly said that he is the one who died. Okay, it's never implicitly said. Maybe it was something almost equally as worse, like let's say Sabo got captured, he's in prison, he's gonna await execution. That would surely distress everyone who just found out he was alive.
Okay. Maybe.
Okay. Then who died?
Vivi? I don't know. Cobra? Cobra probably died. You know, he's old now. But, you know, yeah, I mean they're all crying and Stelly's shocked and shit, right?
Oh, okay.
Stelly, sorry, Stelly. Stelly, King Stelly. You remember Stelly, right?
Yeah, he was the stupid one.
Yeah, Sabo's brother.
Yeah, who nobody cares about.
Apparently I care about him. We see Doflamingo in Impel Down and he's cackling like usual.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that they're continuing to make Doflamingo, like, not necessarily like relevant, but appearing in the story, you know?
Well, he just knows everything. He's the one like, oh, I know everything, and I know, you know, and he's just cackling. He's like, this is what happens when you take down someone who knows everything.
And then after that, I think we flash to Blackbeard. And he's like, if the Navy doesn't want it, we'll take it. I don't know exactly what he was talking about.
I'm sure
do you guys have any?
If it's implied, right? If you truly believe that Sabo's the one who died, then he's probably talking about Sabo's devil fruit.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I saw it.
However, it could also be a reasonable line of thought to assume that whatever happened in the Alabasta Kingdom is related to Pluton.
It is reasonable. There's all sorts of things. See, look, it's vague and specific at the same time. It's like
Sabo very reasonably could have found like the last road poneglyph, or you know, something about Pluton in Alabasta, right? And they got murdered or captured or whatever for it, and now that's what's going on there.
that could be it.
But we don't know. We don't know. I think either I'm forgetting something, or we still don't know. Like, even people who are caught up to the manga.
No, we do not know, and we'll probably not know until Act 3 of Wano ends.
Right.
Yeah, for the anime watchers that are watching, we are still in the manga in Act 3. We're still in Act 3. We've been in Act 3 for like over a year at this point. You know, as Angela said, Blackbeard was there, and he wants to take something. And then we flash to Wano, and Jason, who is at Wano talking to the Navy?
It's the man, Drake.
Drake. And what is it revealed that he is?
It reveals that he is the captain of Sword, which is a top secret Navy organization.
So basically, he's like a double agent,
spy.
right?
Yeah.
And,
Kobe, part of Sword.
yeah, and he's talking to Kobe, which is awesome, right? And Kobe informs X Drake of some of the events, right, that are happening here. You know, like the reverie's
Yeah.
over and shit like that. And then X Drake is like,
Fall-
oh yeah,
fall.
Big Mom and Kaido are allied.
Oh, and the world government's here.
Yeah. And then Kobe's like, oh yeah, where is Kobe going, Angela?
He's going to the Amazon lilies, to capture Boa Hancock.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Do you think Kobe's actually gonna take down Boa Hancock?
No,
No,
You sure?
no, not at all.
I mean, this
not by himself.
well, I mean, he's got a fleet, you know? He's got a fleet with him.
Right, you gotta remember though, not only are the Amazons like by themselves, like even like the fodder ones, pretty strong. Boa Hancock literally has the ability to one-shot a large majority of people in existence.
That's what I was gonna say. And the majority of those people are men, and she has the power over men.
And women. We know that women are infatuated with her too, naturally.
And it should be noted that Kobe at this point is a Marine captain.
I was about to say, like, I don't think Kobe will be like falling for the love fruit. I don't think they're gonna let him fall down that hard.
Oh,
But
probably
even
not.
assuming, right, that Kobe can be like unaffected by the love fruit, like Luffy. Do you really think he's strong enough to beat Boa Hancock in a one-on-one fight?
Well, we don't know much about Kobe, but what we do know is that he knows a lot. Well, he knows a couple from Water 7. This is Water 7 pre-time skip, right? He does know some of the 6 powers at that point, which is, you know, you could make the reasonable argument that he probably has mastered or knows more at this point. He has very advanced observation hockey from whenever we saw them going to the Reverie. Because, you know, he stopped the fucking what shit, what was it? He stopped a submarine missile or some shit.
Mhm.
And he just like saw it and took off without anyone realizing.
Would you consider that very advanced? I think very advanced would be on like the Luffy and the Katakuri levels.
Well, maybe
Or would
not
you
like
consider that mastered?
maybe not like that advanced, but you know, it's above average, I would say.
Well, no, that might be fair even, because you could claim Luffy and Katakuri as like mastered observation hockey.
Yeah, I could say that. But if Future Sight is advanced, you know, if Future Sight is a advanced trait of observation hockey, and Kobe doesn't show that, then he would probably be more like I said, above average. Maybe not like in that same category as Luffy and Katakuri. But you know, I think there's a reasonable, I think it's plausible.
I still don't think, because it can be well assumed that Boa knows hockey too. It's never been like explicitly stated, but I mean, we know that all the Amazons learned hockey, like literally all of them, because every single foot soldier was using hockey with their arrows. I think it's a reasonable conclusion that Boa, the strongest of all the Amazons, would learn hockey as well.
And it's not even like they imbue themselves with hockey. They imbue other things with hockey.
Right, which is like advanced armament hockey.
Well, unless you count like Rio as advanced armament hockey.
Yeah. Well, I'd consider that like very advanced, or almost even to like mastered.
So like, with everything that's going on here, we you know, I still think that Kobe has a chance. You know, I think he has a chance. We know more about Boa than we do Kobe.
Right.
So
We also don't know. Oh no, never mind. Ignore that. I was about to say we also don't know. It's possible he ate a devil fruit, but that's not true.
Yeah, that's man.
I just remembered that we'd literally like just seen him dive and stop a torpedo.
You know, if Sabo actually is dead, I could see Kobe picking up the flame fruit.
That would feel like such a. I don't know that if you're just gonna kill Kobe off or not Kobe, kill Sabo off anyway, like 2 arcs later, what was even the point of having a grand reveal in Dressrosa?
Well, this was like, uh, it's like 200 plus chapters. You know what I mean? Which is about
Right,
the.
but what was the point? Realistically speaking, besides his debut in Dressrosa, what else has Sabo done to really affect the story that no other character could have done? Right? Like, Sabo didn't have to be the number 2 in the Revolutionary Army. Oda could have made any character the number 2 in the Revolutionary Army to take his place at the Reverie arc. If you're just going to kill him off at the end of Reverie, what was even the point of making him the big deal in Dressrosa?
Probably to give
That's
Luffy more
why-
street cred.
That's what... Okay.
But like, that's part of what I'm saying is like, since we don't know that Sabo is dead, you know, maybe it's the same thing that happened with Ace. You know, they're gonna hold a public execution or some shit to try and draw out the Straw Hats and the revolutionaries. You know what I mean?
So what, a Marine... You think that's... You think that's what the narrator was alluding to at the end of Dressrosa when he was talking about like the Grand Fleet would go on to do something stupid,
Oh, I
stupidly
think
history changing crazy?
wholeheartedly,
For 2.0.
wholeheartedly, I think that the Grand Fleet will show up during like one of the final battles, and I think that final battle is going to be against the world government.
I do too. But I'm specifying world government and Navy. I'm talking siege on like Marijois, not New Marineford.
Well, I mean, if you're waging war on the Marines who work for the government, then it's kind of like the same
Right.
thing.
Right, but I'm talking like CP0 wasn't part of the Paramount War. None of the Cypher Pulls were.
No, the Cypher Pole and CP0 weren't, but that's because they worked like directly for the Celestial Dragons.
Exactly. That's why I think it'll be specifically on the world government, and not like the Navy as an institution that works for the world government.
Well, I think the Navy's
think
going
the
to
Navy
play
will-
a huge part in
Yeah,
that
I think
war.
they'll be part of it. I think they'll be part of it, but I don't think it'll be like Marineford, where like the strongest person there is like the admirals.
Well, I mean, I think the majority of the world government's fighting power and the strongest of the world's government fighting power is in the Marines, you know? Awkward silence. The music just just ended too, so all right, so continuing on, we we get some people celebrating the 7 warlords going away, and then we get a brief history of like all the 7 warlords, current and past, and then we get like flashes of the other 2 powers. And then Cobra and King Riku, they stand up and they're like, yeah, let's abolish this shit. They fucked us up, dude. And Jason, you wanna talk about all the warlords interactions or with the Navy?
I mean, there's not too much to talk about, barring Buggy, who is, you know, the worst warlord. All of them were like, all right, you really want to fight me? No, let's fight, I guess.
I mean, the worst warlord is subjective, because are we really gonna say that Buggy isn't as good as fucking Moria?
Yes.
But Buggy's doing shit. He's actually influencing the world. Moria's just sitting on his little pretty ass castle saying, oh man, I'm gonna make zombies.
You know what Buggy's plan is literally right now when he's fighting the Navy?
Run away.
You guys fight them so I can run away.
That's what he's always done. It's consistent.
One thing though that I do want to mention, that I thought was pretty cool and badass was when we cut to Mihawk, and he mentions that he missed being chased, and he's kind of like excited for this, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a pretty dope moment.
I did think it was interesting though. I don't know if any of you guys noticed it. With all of the other warlords, we got to see like their subordinates. Like even like we had Buggy's pirates, Boa Hancock, like her Amazon Lily people were around. We cut to Weevil and it showed like his mom. But when we got to Mihawk, Corona actually wasn't around.
Corona wasn't around.
Corona.
Yeah, that's what Jason said. Corona.
I think you meant Perona.
I did say Perona.
Oh.
It sounded like Corona though.
Yeah, it was like Corona.
With all of the other warlords that made an appearance there, Perona was the only subordinate not to show up, and I thought that was, I don't know, I noticed it at least.
Well, it's because in the last cut between Act 1 and Act 2, Mihawk was reading the paper, and he's like, yeah, you should probably leave because shit's looking like it's gonna, happen. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I do remember that now.
Right. But where? Where did Perona go? I need to know.
She's probably on her way to Wano to pledge loyalty to the Straw Hats. That's my explanation for everyone disappearing.
Why?
It doesn't matter who.
What?
I think Buggy's gonna pledge his loyalty to the Straw Hats also.
What reason would
Okay,
Perona
that's.
Yeah, that's just you being dumb. I'm just gonna ignore that one.
I
You
think
said
he's
that as
just
a joke.
no. Yes.
But Perona?
No, no. All right. So Perona, I was memeing, okay, but with Buggy, okay, it makes sense for Buggy to turn tail.
No, it doesn't.
No. Stop. Let me explain. Okay, it makes sense for Buggy to turn tail, and then run to someone who will protect him, just like he wanted to be protected by the government. And the only other people that he feels like could protect him from all this, because now he's a really well-known person, he can't just up and disappear anymore, like he did after the Roger Pirates, split up, is Shanks and Luffy. And he ain't gonna run to Shanks. He hates Shanks. And while he might hate Luffy, they at least teamed up in Impel Down, so he might be like, I'm not gonna be your official subordinate. I'm not even gonna be a part of the Grand Fleet, but I want you to say that you protect me.
I could see that.
Alright. There's 3 things wrong with this idea. 3 things wrong. 1, Alvida, who is, as far as we can assume, now the number 2 in the Buggy Pirates, literally only teamed up with Buggy with the sole intention of taking down Straw Hat Luffy.
So why is she a part of the crew now?
Number 2, what plausible reason would Luffy have to A, accept this, B, stop Nami from just beating him up on the site, and C, stop himself from beating up Buggy on site?
Okay, what's the third reason?
The third reason is, alright, we also gotta remember, Buggy literally has tried to kill Luffy so many times, even in Impel Down.
Okay, so first reason, you said Alvida, okay? If the sole purpose for her being on the crew was to take out Luffy, she would not be on his crew anymore. Because that's not even in their realistic goal anymore. So, for Luffy to say yes, it's very simple. Bellamy did basically the same thing that I assume Buggy will do. And Luffy was like, yeah, sure, whatever, you're a good guy, right? And it's not like Buggy is on the same level as Caesar Clown or anything. He's actually,
right, but Bellamy is a good dude. Buggy's not.
But he did help Buggy and Impel Down.
He did help Buggy, and he showed some sort of camaraderie with Buggy, even though it wasn't reciprocated by Buggy, because that's just who Buggy is. Buggy doesn't give a shit about Straw Hat. And the reason why he's only going to go to Straw Hat is because he's, like, backed into a corner and needs help. And the third thing,
You
yeah, I mean,
seriously believe this?
well, it's plausible. It's plausible. And with your third reason, yeah, Buggy tried to kill Luffy so many times, but at this point, I'm pretty sure Luffy can recognize what is a genuine threat and what isn't.
Because, yeah, I don't. They might not have the best relationship, but Buggy isn't really a threat to Luffy.
He's just a shit talker. That's all he is right now. He can't do anything to Buggy, or he
Not
can't
to
do anything
mention,
to
I
Luffy.
guarantee you, I 100% guarantee you, the instant Bartolomeo recognizes Buggy as the person who tried to kill Luffy that fateful day in Logtown, he is going to murder Buggy so fast. I'm talking so fast.
Probably, but at the same time, I don't think that they will have many, if any, interactions with each other.
You're right, because Buggy won't be part of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet at
No,
all.
I mean, like, even then, like, Bartolomeo and the other Grand Fleet members probably don't interact with each other as much as you think. And the only time we saw any interaction between them after they left Dressrosa was at Reverie, where the Tontatas and Sai showed up. And they're like, oh, hey, you're here. Oh, yeah, you're here. And that was about it.
Right. Because they haven't been part of the... You can't say, oh, it hasn't happened yet, so it won't happen. The argument that Buggy would be going and joining the Straw Hat Grand Fleet would mean that when the time comes for the Straw Hat Grand Fleet to be part of the big story again, they would interact with each other. And Bartolomeo would kill him on sight.
Well, that's assuming that Bartolomeo doesn't care about Luffy's feelings. And if Luffy says, yeah, you can join, then Bartolomeo's gonna be like, oh, okay, since Senpai allows it, then whatever. I don't like you, but at least fucking Luffy likes you. So you got that.
He will listen to whatever Luffy says.
That's... Oh my fucking god, I hate you.
The thing is, there are weak reasons for Buggy joining the Grand Fleet, which, my opinion, he will ask to be a subordinate of Luffy. He won't ask to be a Grand Fleet member. Kind of like how Caesar Clown was a subordinate of fucking Doflamingo, but he wasn't a part of like the family or anything.
Buggy will do anything to save himself.
See, look, that's my biggest reason is Buggy wants to save himself. He will grovel to fucking Luffy, who was proclaimed as the 5th Emperor.
Okay, let's kind of get away from this now because
we're annoying Jason with our facts and logic. Ooh, so sad.
I'm actually getting so upset.
that's just don't. I hate Buggy as much as you, but he does give good points on it.
There's more points backing this up than there is backing my Buggy will be the Pirate King one. But anyways,
no, Buggy being the Pirate King, it can't happen. But okay.
All right, so
Do you have any idea how upset I would be? You do. I've mentioned it multiple times. How upset I would be if that's how the series is.
well, I don't think that that's how it will end. I think that maybe it'll be like, oh man, you know, I don't know. There's like a million different ways how that could happen. But let's just continue on so we don't make Jason have an aneurysm. So we didn't talk about Edward Weevil because no one likes Edward Weevil.
I did. I mentioned them.
He did mention him.
Oh, well.
I did. I talked about how Weevil was there with his mom, and how they were like, "Mom, can I fight him?" And Mom was like, "Sure, they're our enemies now."
Oh yeah. Oh, we didn't talk enough about Boa Hancock and how she was being a total badass and was like, "You forget the reason why we became warlords. It's because we're strong." And I'm like, "Oh my god, step on me, Pirate Empress."
That was awesome.
It was awesome. And the next episode will deal with, as you know, I can't remember the next episode's name, but it'll deal with it shows scenes with Sengoku, Garp, Roger, and Rocks, like as in the Rocks
Ooh.
Pirates. So that should be a really good episode. There's a lot of information in this one. You know, like all these little tiny details and shit. There's like two overarching things, like you said, Jason, but it's like if you don't pay attention to the tiny details, you might get the wrong impression. But after, you know, all in all, it was I like how it was animated. It was animated really well.
It was really pretty.
Like, that was some One Piece Stampede movie quality animation. Like, can you imagine if this anime was seasonal and how awesome it would be? Like, holy shit.
But then again, it'd be on episode like 400. There wouldn't be a time skip yet even.
Well, that's
seasonal.
That's not particularly true, because seasonal animes adapt like at least 3+ chapters into a single episode.
Dude, speaking of seasonal animes, having caught up to the My Hero Academia manga, I am so hyped for season 5.
Oh, it's gonna be good, dude.
It's gonna be so good.
Angela, you gotta catch up to that also. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's so good.
What do you mean?
So
I thought I was caught up on the anime.
We're caught up on the anime, not on the manga. You gotta read the manga, babe. Like, I'm not kidding you, but chapter 200 to 300, which is, you know, I think it ended on 299, right? Or was it
6 was the last chapter to come out.
Which one was it?
296.
296. From 200 to 296, those chapters have significantly improved my viewpoint on My Hero Academia. And Jason, I don't think that's a stretch to say that those chapters were awesome.
It's not a stretch. It got so good.
Like, it was like, those chapters, to me, were better than the rest of the fucking series.
It hit different. It did, very much so. Like, there's an arc going up in the manga that was like 40 chapters, right? Somewhere around 250 to like 296 was the arc. And I'm calling it, that's gonna be the entirety of season 6. Even if it's only 2 chapters being adapted per episode, there is so much stuff to animate.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's so good.
All right. Well, since we're done with this, I don't want to leave Tanner out. So I'm gonna message him, tell him to get back on here.
So good.
Okay, we good.
I do kind of have a few complaints about it. Not like about the manga, or well, about not like niche complaints, but like actual complaints about stuff that's going on. But that's probably for another episode, since we don't want to get too far into spoilies.
Yeah, dude. Like, I would be perfectly fine in doing a read line for My Hero Academia once One Piece is over.
Yeah, years from now.
Well, I mean, if we get a consistent upload, you know, if we can do read line episodes one after another, then it wouldn't be like years from now.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh shit, hold up.
Tanner, you're finally on a Sunday episode.
I know. Hold on 1 minute though, because my stupid headphone isn't working.
Haha, Tanner's stupid. What?
Jason, you're stupid. Shut up.
No, you're stupid. That's why you weren't part of the episode yet.
Hush, Jason.
Haha, loser. Loser isn't caught up to anime. Loser.
You're the one that be watching rom-coms all week. Shut the fuck up, loser.
Oh, fucking
Yo,
roasted.
but rom-coms be hitting different though. Rom-coms be hitting different.
Nah, not really.
He fucking
Yeah,
roasted Jason. Holy shit. Tanner, you just missed me. I can't explain what I said, but you missed a whole bunch of buggy propaganda, and I pissed off Jason in the middle of the fucking episode.
I actually had to use all of my self-control for the day to stop me from leaving the call.
It was bad.
I wish I'd been here. Shit.
It was like, I could see it being explosive if we're not. Like, people in the audience don't understand how much I shill for Buggy and how much that annoys the shit out of Jason.
If
It
any more
does,
buggy
you do it
propaganda
on
happens
purpose.
today, Jason is leaving.
It's- By the way, why wasn't Buggy a part of the Shokugeki no Sanji thing? Man, we need to have him on the.
we needed
Why?
the
There's
chop
been
chop
two
fruit.
chapters.
We needed the chop chop fruit for
Two!
the true Shokugeki. For the true food war.
Buggy has the chop fruit. You know, you chop
There's
shit
a
while
lot
you're
of-
cooking.
Oh man, the first two chapters of One Piece were good, but I really wish Zoro was in it. Like, it was 2 chapters.
I think Zoro appears in the 4th one.
Yeah, you want to know something crazy? 4 is bigger than 2.
Not technically.
Okay, so the 4th episode or the 4th chapter of Shokugeki no Sanji needs to have Buggy in it. That's what we're settling on, right?
Yeah, I think this is about where we're headed.
Okay, all right. I really hope people watch this episode. This is funny. All right, so let's just continue on to Shokugeki no Sanji, because those chapters
Okay.
made me have foodgasms.
Bro, me too. Oh, those chapters were so fucking good. Oh shit, I
It was
just
so
dropped
good.
I hit something.
So it starts off with the fucking, we're at the Baratier. This is before the Straw Hats meet Sanji, and this big chick, which I know is from Food Wars, but I cannot remember her. This big chick is like talking shit about the food, and asks the waiter to go and get the head chef, and the waiter is Sanji, and the Sanji's like, oh no, he's out, nah, he's not here. And so they basically talk up a deal that's like, all right, you know, we'll cook you one more meal, and if that's not good enough for you, you can leave a scathing review for us, but if it is good enough for you, then you have to eat every single fucking bit of that food on your plate. That's basically the premise of the chapter, right? That's the first chapter.
Yeah.
But like,
Basically.
now we can open the discussions and shit, because I mean, a food wars chapter is not super substantial like a One Piece chapter is. But what is substantial is the fucking art style. It's so good.
Absolutely.
It is so good. Oh my god.
I love how they drew everything in this chapter. In both chapters, really.
I have to say that Sanji is looking really fine in this and that
Say it with confidence, Angela. Sanji looks like he could take me anytime, and that's coming from me. That's me.
Sanji looking fine as fuck, bro.
Say it like your Ami Asai from Uzuki-chan. That boy's fun.
Jason, my favorite
that
part.
boy looks fine.
There you go.
Jason, my favorite part whenever you mention Uzaki-chan is that you say Uzuki-chan, and I'm like, ha.
It's Uzuki-chan. That's how he pronounces it. It's Uzuki. Uzaki.
Say it faster, Jason.
Uzuki-chan.
You do you hear this, Tanner? Do you hear what I'm hearing?
I hear Uzuki.
Yeah, I hear
that
Uzuki
sounds-
too.
What are you guys talking about? It's Uzuki. And that's how he
That's how you're saying it. You're saying Uzuki.
Yeah, that's how he says it. That's how it's said.
Okay.
All right, so the lobster is pretty neat, and I was wrong after closer inspection. It is not an actual lobster. It's an axe. What was it?
It was like it was a tomahawk lobster. Yeah.
Yeah, a tomahawk lobster. It has like axes for its claws and shit, which have like a bunch of meat in it, which is dope. I want to eat it so bad.
Me too, honestly.
So like,
I don't.
Jason, are you okay? Okay, Jason's okay.
No, I'm not.
He needed a breather.
I'm honestly gonna have to take a second right now to take a breather to stop myself.
Okay, okay. This is why having both me and Tanner on the podcast is a dangerous idea.
The Sunday podcast, it's not meant for Jason. He doesn't like it.
The Sunday podcast was meant to be a breather for Jason after the antics of the read line. Holy shit.
Okay. But shit. Can we also just talk about this writing and how just fucking how precise it was to like Food Wars it really is. Like just about how they have these reaction shots with the different characters being like, holy shit, he's using this kind of cooking technique and shit. I think that just I like that little nod to the actual Food Wars show.
Dude, like Food Wars, the manga and the anime,
Or the manga rather.
yeah, Shokugeki no Soma is what the name is in Japan. It uses actual culinary techniques. There's 3 writers for this thing. There's an artist, there's a story writer, and then there's a culinary expert that they consult.
Yeah.
So every single fucking thing that's in Food Wars is like accurate. You can actually make their shit. And they translated the writers for Food Wars did these chapters, and so they added all that shit, and it's so perfect for Sanji. It's so perfect.
I know. Like I really want more of these like kind of even though I haven't watched Super I want more of these like kind of shots with Sanji just cooking and like him explaining his process, you know. Even though that's not like a super integral part of the show, it's just like, oh, we have a chef now, cool, we can eat.
Dude, I really hope well, next time we have a chapter off, we should read the Zoro versus Mihawk fight, because the author for Dr. Stone redrew that chapter.
Really?
Yeah, and it's well, so Dr. Stone, the manga, has a particular, like, a very anatomical drawing style. So like, whenever he draws, a lot of people say it looked veiny.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of his art style like I am of Food Wars, because oh my god, Food Wars' art style is
Food
so
Wars
good.
is sexy, bro.
Dude,
It
it's so
absolutely
good.
is.
But
This is one of my favorite.
You can definitely tell a different art style, but it looks good.
From the beginning, like very first panel here, whenever you see like the colored and shit, like just looking at the shading and like just how they just drew everything and these little busty little boobs here. That's nice.
Little busties.
There was
Little
there was
busty.
one thing that kind of caught me off guard between chapters 1 and 2, because chapter 1 ended with the Straw Hats like showing up
Mhm.
at the Baratier, and I thought that chapter 2 was gonna be, you know, covering him meeting the Straw Hats and then, you know, cook, and we would actually see like Sanji going back and cooking their food, or maybe teaching Luffy, you know, how to cook or something like that. But it cuts immediately after. It has a huge time jump all the way to like the end of Arlong Park.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing like a Nami's tangerine pinwheel tattoo and thinking that the artist had messed up because she shouldn't have that tattoo yet. But she did.
I probably should have mentioned that these 2 chapters were both separate one-shots before I said to read them.
Yeah, you probably should have.
That was a oopsie on my end.
Yeah, I
Oopsie
realized the
daisy.
first one was in like 2019, and then I think the second one was like the end of last year. I think it was December of 2020.
Yeah, it came out recently. That's why I was like, oh, we should just do this for the podcast episode because it just came out. But no, it was really good. I don't know. Sorry, I got a hair in my mouth. That's weird.
It
We
was,
should.
it was enjoyable.
It was enjoyable. But what about the
I like-
second chapter, guys? What about the second one?
Yes.
I-
Talk about
I-
the second chapter. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, the most noticeable art style change that I saw was Nami.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Like-
I noticed that
like-
immediately.
She looked. I don't know. I think I didn't like Nami, actually, the way that she was drew. Just. I don't know why. It just looks so different to me.
Well, it's because this was a point in One Piece where fan service non-existent. So like Nami's bust was considerably reduced at this point in time of One Piece. So you were looking at a Nami as she would be seen like now.
I didn't notice that. Like, I feel like it was the same. It was just more concealed.
Well, with Food Wars art style, they also he also has a tendency to draw females very curvy, I would
sexualized.
Yeah.
There you go. That's one.
Very much sexualized, purely to like, what's the word? Like play up the foodgasms. Or just eat a single bite of food.
I mean, yeah, and then in like the first chapter, you see like I think isn't it 2 scenes or so where you see like completely naked women, but they're like covering their private parts?
In the first chapter, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised we didn't get any naked dudes this time, if I'm honest. Like,
I think everyone would have wanted to see Zoro naked.
oh,
Yeah.
I absolutely did. I was waiting for it.
So many Zoro stands.
Bro, I was wanting Zoro to be a fucking merman in the background of one of these panels.
I mean,
At the very least.
I've kind of seen too much naked scenes right now in anime. I mean, in the manga, I'm like, I'm good. Especially reading No Longer Human right now. I'm like, it's a little too much.
So so the synopsis for the second chapter was, like, as Jason said, it happened sometime after Arlong Park, but before they get into the Grand Line, they see this wandering sailor who wants to go and make this extravagant, what is it, dragon eel, I think, for
yeah, I think it.
Yeah, for a wedding for his daughter. And Sanji's like, oh, hey, I can fillet that because you are too dumb as fuck to know how to. And he's like, oh yeah, sure, thanks, but it's really tricky. And so he fucks up a couple of them because he doesn't have the correct knives and shit. And then what happens, Tanner?
So Sanji, he's like, oh fuck, I keep exploding the stupid fish. Stupid knives, which one is the... Zoro's like, alright, you're clearly stupid, just take this. And he gives Sanji the sword. And Sanji's like, yo, this is perfect. And we get some like epic fucking shots of Sanji unsheathing the sword. Like, okay, let's fucking do this. And he just slices the fucking thing, one slice, instantly. And then we see this like beautiful fucking salmon or dragon salmon sashimi, and it's fucking delicious according to everybody.
It's dude, I kind of want to eat it now.
I honestly want to too. This is making me.
Wasn't it a type of salmon?
Yeah, dragon salmon.
Dragon salmon, that's right. But yeah, dude, something I didn't like about the second chapter was that they teased showing Luffy and Usopp so many times, but they never did.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Like, the closest we got was like their nose and mouth, but we never got their full face, you know what I mean?
I can see like maybe Food Wars art style not wanting to like try to draw them, I guess, really.
Well, I mean, if they're not important to the chapter. I can't
see that as like a true reason why they wouldn't show them. Like, yeah, here we have Usopp just randomly in the background, and he's behind a barrel. Like, he's not even in, like, really in there.
Something I've noticed, I've only seen like a few episodes of Food Wars, and then I stopped it because I really wanted to focus on One Piece. But something I noticed is that like a lot of anime, like ones with like so many characters at least, like even if they're not relevant to the story, they'll be like part of like background shots. Like, for example, you can watch like any scene of My Hero Academia, like literally any one, and some member of Class 1A will be in the background, like goofing off or something. Like, there are so many times where like Tokuyami is just like chilling on a desk in the background, but Food Wars doesn't do that. If a character is not part of the storyline, they won't be drawn in the episode.
Which, I mean, it's a good and a bad thing, because Food Wars, unlike One Piece and My Hero Academia, they don't focus so much on like tiny details or like the world aspect, because it's a pretty simple world as it is. You don't really need to explain that you're in Japan and you're cooking shit, you know. Whereas with My Hero Academia and One Piece, they want you to care about certain characters, and there's such a wide variety of characters, and you're in a whole new world that they show these characters constantly, because the world is interacting. They want to make you feel like the world is alive.
Which is something I really liked about the manga that has been picked up since like where the anime cut off, was that it's really you can tell that Horikoshi is putting a lot more emphasis on making this feel like a functioning world versus just, if it's part of the storyline, I'll draw it, but otherwise it doesn't matter.
To follow your tangent, that's my biggest criticism about My Hero Academia up to the end of anime, is because they have this super interesting world dynamic about about how quirks affect other people, and how even if you are a good person, if you have a quirk that makes you look like a monster, people are gonna be discriminatory against you. But they never capitalized on that up until where you're at in the manga.
Right.
And that's part of why I was like, holy shit. But anyway, back to Food Wars.
So I just realized another interesting way to think about this is also, since it's also taking place in like Sanji's kind of, I guess, headspace, or like primarily revolving around Sanji. The main reason why we don't see Luffy or Usopp really is mainly probably because Sanji's like, I don't really want to deal with these people when I'm trying to make this fancy ass food for this. So he's probably just ignoring them whenever fucking Luffy and Usopp are like, hey, give me some fucking food.
That's probably...
This is...
Okay.
Early Sanji really, like, not counting Baradier, of course, but early Sanji really only ever interacted with two people, Nami and Zoro.
Exactly.
For the most part, yeah. It was, I think that, like, I wouldn't even say that they were rivals at this point. I think that really kickstarted in Little Garden.
Mm-mm. Yes, it was at Little Garden when they argued over who could catch the most meat. And then from there, it just kept piling on, because I believe during that scene when they were arguing about who could get the most meat, Zoro insulted Nami.
I
and then Sanji was like, alright, whatever. You're dead to me now.
So with, it's funny that you were talking about catching meat, because with the way that they drew Sanji in these chapters, Sanji could catch my meat anytime.
Me too, broski.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. I need to get a body pillow now. Holy shit.
Same with Zoro. High key though.
High key, man.
I just look at Zoro and you as well.
Tanner's becoming a cancerous Zoro stan.
It's just because of the way that they're drawn, bro. Look at them.
Especially in the first chapter.
Oh, dude. Like the art style is just so good.
Just like me personally, he looks so much better without a cigarette in his mouth.
He doesn't look as cool though. Every anime.
No, he looks so much more attractive without it.
In the cover of this chapter, he looks too much like an angel. He's clearly not an angel. This motherfucker.
Man, it was just it was a good experience, and both of us like Food Wars. All of us like Food Wars, in some degree.
Well,
I haven't really read or watched it.
Yeah.
I was thinking I was gonna be the only one with like true Food Wars experience until Jeremy said that he's read Food Wars.
It's so good, dude. It's so good, and I'm still trying to get the fucking manga.
Maybe like once I'm done reading all of Junji Ito's. I'll try Food Wars again.
It's
like
one of those anime, like, if you're gonna watch it, eat to it. If you're gonna read it, you can eat to it, probably.
It'll make you hungry.
I don't know.
It will make you hungry. That's why I always get myself, like, some kind of food before I sit down and watch it, or, like, I guess in the case of reading it, you'd have to figure out a
I
way to
don't know if
snack.
That's like me watching Food Network.
Yeah, exactly. If you're watching, like,
No, I don't.
Gordon Ramsay, you should eat or some shit.
I'm not trying to look at man cheeks while I'm trying to eat cereal.
Well, there's not a lot of those scenes. I wouldn't say there's a lot of those scenes if you're reading or watching. It's more like it's
So,
more
There's
with
a
your
character who literally always has his cheeks out. Literally always.
Who?
Okay, but that character is hot as fuck, so...
Jason, you watch
Shut up.
rom-coms.
Who? Who are you talking about?
Someone
It's
in
a
Food
character
Wars.
that you need to get farther into. I forget his
I
name
want
at
a
the moment.
picture.
He showed up in like episode 4. He always wears an apron.
Hush.
Jason, you can't be
You have to
complaining
look up
about
the
seeing
character.
man cheeks when you watch rom-coms with all these weird provocative scenes in them.
No, you're right.
No.
I can't. That's my bad. That's totally my bad. You see, the difference is I don't watch rom-coms when I'm trying to eat my lasagna.
Ah, yes, his name is Ishiki. That's right. Hold up.
A true Garfield over here.
I didn't say I'm not trying to look at man cheeks. I said I'm trying not to look at man cheeks when I'm eating.
Well, then don't eat. Just watch it.
Yeah.
That's
Also, if you're gonna eat while
it's almost
watching
like
this
I was
show,
specifically replying to you saying you should eat while you watch.
if you're not planning on, or if you are planning on eating while watching, the nakedness gets significantly less toward the later end of the season or end of the series. Until like the very last two
Okay.
episodes, which are just pure fan service, but we don't talk about that.
We'll talk about that.
We don't want
Oh
to.
God, Angie said okay, like she found a new waifu.
No, I just. I don't know about that one.
We,
Okay,
I,
that makes
we,
sense.
we
I
have
don't
the
know about
first.
that, dude.
We have the first 2 seasons on a deluxe like DVD Blu-ray set. Okay, we gotta watch it, and then you'll be like, oh my god, this anime is the best thing since sliced bread because they slice the bread right in front of you.
Do they actually slice bread? I haven't seen that.
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do.
It was a joke, Tanner.
I know. I'm just thinking.
Maybe
My
if
food
he was,
knowledge.
maybe if he was dressed differently, it would look better. I don't
Hold up,
like
I
that
got
look.
you. He's got
He said,
plenty of
"Hold."
pictures. This
He said,
This
"Hold
is
up,
my-
I got you."
is my husbando here, bro.
Not sure how much pasta to make and give up on life. There are gonna be a lot harder decisions than that one, so you might as well just give up now.
Shit.
There you go.
Shit.
Hold up. I'm gonna have a bunch of random pictures of Ishiki in my fucking.
I'll see if I can.
laptop.
find
Okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
That looks a lot better. Yeah,
That's
I can
fan art,
see it.
though, isn't it?
He's like one of the best cooks at the school. He's just a cool dude. I love him.
It looks
Even
like fan
though-
art. The art style is very differently pronounced.
I think that is actually fan art. Hold up. Though I know that. Is that fan art? I can't tell.
Not to mention the eyes are completely different colors. His eyes are like dark in the first one, and they're like light blue in the second one.
That might be like from the cover of one of the mangas.
That might be it, actually.
Well, all right, Jason.
That-
but here's
yeah,
the thing
that's-
about eye killers. Okay, when you first meet Robin, okay, when we first meet Robin, her eyes are like blue, right? But then they turn brown. Okay. Right.
That's fair.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a fair statement.
So, man, Food Wars. That's
So Food Wars.
so. When are we doing the Food Wars Virgin podcast for Angela? When are we?
for both Angela and Jason.
I don't
We
think we
gotta-
should do that because then it's just gonna be you two running the series, and we know how that's gonna turn out.
you know how long that's gonna take before we get done with One Piece? Like, I will
It's gonna
read it
take us a
before then.
while.
Like, all the read lines for One Piece, I give it at least a year and a half, probably longer.
Well, if we keep going at the pace we're going right now, which is like a manga volume and a half, and there's 90 something volumes out right now, that means that in about 50 episodes more.
We're doing about 10 episodes. We're doing about 10 chapters an episode, roughly.
So,
And of the 1,000
there's like,
chapters,
what? How many weeks is there in a year? Like
52.
36?
51.
50?
There's 52 weeks in a year.
Yeah,
it's
so
51.
at least a year and a half.
Well,
That's
here's how I
assuming
think
there's
about it. We should definitely try and do these read lines like every week. Try and get our so that way we can actually I think it runs more smoothly if we do them like one after the other.
I was wrong. There are indeed
Okay.
52 weeks.
Is there anything else to discuss?
Just
Tanner's
my
a
utter
stinky man,
infatuation with Sanji.
Yes. This is another thing.
Tanner's is man baby.
Jason, you're calling me the man baby?
Your man baby.
You watch rom-coms. Shush.
Yes,
Why we-
rom-coms are not for babies. Rom-coms are for men.
I watched a few rom-coms in my time, Jason. I could say that they're for man babies.
No, they're not. They're adorable.
Exactly,
There's
you're
no
using
such
fucking adorable to describe a fucking anime.
Holy shit.
Hey, bro.
Okay, I think
Bro, are you attacking my personality right now? Bro, you
Yes.
really finna come at me like that?
Yes, bro.
You're the
Oh,
one who watched Oran High School Host Club to pick up a girl, dog.
I did not do that, actually.
Yeah, you did.
I watched 3 episodes because I didn't like it, and then Autumn was like, hey, yo, let's just watch the end. I was like, okay, I guess.
So, Jason,
Alright,
man,
I
baby,
feel
where
like-
can people find you on Twitter?
What's my handle again? SSM Gengai.
At SSM
Gengai.
Gengai. Angela, where can
SSM
people
Gengai.
find you?
Twitter, Angie_Marie977.
Tanner, where can people find you across your vast ocean of social media pages?
Okay, so if you want to find me on Twitter, you can find me at Maui Boy Music. On YouTube, I think it's the same thing. On Twitch, you can find me at Maui Boy TT, and on Instagram, Maui Boy in Misery.
And you can
Now,
find...
Jeremy,
Oh,
where can they find you on your vast array of different social medias?
You can find me on a singular social media, me specifically, on Twitter at SSB_side. You can also find us, all 4 of us, on the Side Piece Anime Podcast Discord. The link will be in the description. It's also posted regularly on our Twitter, and Jason actually does that Twitter, which the handle is...
I am the Twitter man.
He is the Twitter man. Don't let Buggy steal it from you again.
I won't. I have removed Buggy from the premises.
Okay, good. Okay.
Change the password.
And if he ever dares set foot in my studio again,
You gonna chop his dick off?
I was gonna cut off his nose. But
That works too.
You can find all 4 of us on the Side Piece Anime Podcast Discord. You can also find us on Twitter at Side Piece Anime Podcast. You can also find us on Instagram at Side Piece Anime Podcast. You can also email us with your questions, comments, and concerns, or just use any of the other social medias. You can email us at sidepieceanimepodcast@gmail.com. I believe that's... Oh, yeah, and we're on SoundCloud and YouTube, depending on where you're at. The link will be in the description for both. If you're on SoundCloud, you're doing us an awesome favor. And if you're on YouTube, you get to see a neat little video, which honestly doesn't have much on it. But at least we have our faces lighting up, which is a neat little thing that I wanted to add, and I just got, you know, caught up in shit and couldn't add.
Yeah.
All right. Well, without further ado, I guess that is a successful episode. Am I right, guys?
Reverse
Yeah.
harem, the best form of harem anime.
Oh, Jesus Christ, the harem anime.
Okay.
All right.
Reverse harem.
Well,
Okay.
let's act like a harem and
NJ, your turn.
that was a forceful ah.
She didn't even try to do it like a baby. She was just like surprised. She was like, my name. Ah!
Oni-chan.